Hey everyone, it's Jason from Kinda Cool, and today we are answering the challenge from Joel over the Poor Man's Retro Game Room. He has thrown down the gauntlet for the $100 NES challenge. And essentially, what this is you choose within a $100 budget from PriceCharting.com your favorite set of NES cartridges from the Nintendo Entertainment System. Going to be pretty subjective personal list, and Joel did a pretty good job over there. I was pretty impressed with what he came up with, but I'm going to give mine a go. I'm going to throw my hat in the ring, and let's get into that right now. All right, when I first heard this challenge even existed, first and foremost, I knew that this game was going to be on my list. RC Pro-Am was going to land somewhere. This is back when I thought it was going to come in at like $5 or $6. It actually clocks in at a little bit higher at $8.75, so maybe people aren't sleeping on this one as much as they once were, which is a good thing. I've been on record saying this is the best racing game on the NES, and I stand by that. I don't even think second place is really all that close, so to get this one at $8.75, a genre-topping title like this, I'm doing that all day long. All right, next up is Blades of Steel. I'm going to sports game strategy here to try to see if I can squeeze in a few more titles than normal. And at $6.49, this one comes in really cheap as a budget choice. I think it's the best hockey game on the NES. I know there's some ice hockey fans out there as well. But I think it might be one of the top 5 or 6 sports titles altogether on the NES. And so to bring it in at $6.49 is a great deal. I love this one. I like the digitized voices, and how can you ignore those really cool fights, you know, the brawls. And yeah, good price, good game, Konami Silver Box. Speaking of Konami Silver Box, I'm sticking with what I think is the best all-time space shoot-'em-up on the platform, and that's Life Force. Now, I had to stretch a little bit here at $16.97, but I think I get a ton of value here. Like I said, I think I get another genre topper. Yeah, there's other games out there that are good in the space shooter genre, but they're cost prohibitive, but not this one. And I get the added bonus of having 2 players simultaneously. So I got a lot of good play factor stuff going on with this one as well. So, yeah, no regrets taking Life Force. Bionic Commando, I've been on record again saying this is a very underrated game. I think we did a video about a year ago on the Poor Man's Retro Game Room, Retro Gaming Roundtable, that basically covered underrated NES games. I think I had this as my #1, and I still stand by that. I think there's a lot of people that overlook this one. Yeah, you can't jump, and yeah, the overworld map is a little kludgy. I get all that. But at $10, there is so much fun to be had here. It is a quality title on the NES. I think it's probably easily in my top 10 or 15 games of all time on the console. To pick it up for $10, yeah, I'm taking it. And you gotta have that. You gotta love that ending too, man. Classic ending. So I knew I was bringing a heavy hitter with me, and I waffled back and forth on whether it should be Mega Man 2 or maybe Legend of Zelda or Contra. But in the end, I really do truly believe that there's an argument that Contra is the best game on the Nintendo Entertainment System. I know it personally is probably mine. So for me to get that one at 30, it's come down a bit over the years. I thought it was clocking in at like maybe 45 or 50, but it's come down enough to make it, you know, squeeze it into my list here. And Joel, that I think for a second about taking Super C and saving $6 or $7, not even for a second, man. This is the game, man. This is the tier 1 Contra game, and to have my favorite game of all time, what I think is the best on the system in the list, that's a good deal. Tecmo Bowl. So, little known secret about me, I actually played this one more than I played the sequel on the NES. And yeah, I know that's going to be blasphemy in certain circles, but you know what? There's just a certain charm about this one that keeps me coming back for more. And usually you would say that the best sports games on the NES don't include licensed franchises or, you know, real players, but I'll make an exception here. I know this one doesn't have the licensed franchises, but man, some of the players, think about Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson in the same backfield, Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, John Elway, Dan Marino, the list just goes on and on. Ton of fun to be had here, and at $6.83, it's a steal. Now, I know I've been one of those guys that always said I'm a world over a Super Mario 3 guy, but that's not for discussion here today. What's for discussion is the value that I get at $15.75 bringing this game into the mix. And yeah, I've even flirted with saying that maybe Super Mario Bros. 2 is the better game. I'm not sure I'm there yet. But Super Mario Bros. 2 is actually more expensive than 3 right now. So you can't ignore the value that this game brings. And many people have oftentimes said that this is like a Super Nintendo game on the Nintendo. And I kind of get where they're coming from with that. I know that's pushing a little bit, but it does show the absolute overall quality of this game. Yeah, it's an all-time classic. I love it. I'm not going to ignore it on this list. So for $15.75, it's coming on board. Now, I had about $5 left over and change, and you would think this would be just like a game I squeezed in right quick, and in a way it is, but Bases Loaded 2 is the best game out of the Bases Loaded. I think it was their 4-game set. But I know that the quality started to dip a little bit at 3. I didn't play 4, and 2 was always my favorite. And actually, I had friends back in the day, we'd have arguments over what was the best baseball game or franchise on the system. There was a lot of RBI baseball fans, a lot of Baseball Stars fans, but there were people that actually thought that Bases Loaded was the best. I don't know where I stand. I don't think it's the best, but for 332, I'm taking it with me. Overall, I'm happy with my list. I got 8 solid titles, and yeah, not bringing The Legend of Zelda really stung. And there's a lack of RPGs here, but I think I played to the system's strength. And I'm going to say it. The NES didn't really do RPGs all that well, so maybe I'll save that for the Super Nintendo. But I come in with a grand total of $98.11. So there we have it, guys. That was my list. Did you love it? Hate it? Completely indifferent to it? Let me know in the comments below. But I'm going to call out one YouTuber specifically, Juliet India Mobile. I would love to see your video response challenge to this. I'd love to see your $100 NES challenge. I know you're an NES fan. I can't wait to see what you have if you're interested in responding. So everybody else, I'll see you next time, and hopefully I can show you something kind of cool.